What's up, guys, and welcome to the SaveState. I'm your host, Landon Barton, and joined with me is Derek, Owen, and Ryan Royal. And we've all now seen the what everybody's calling it, the gritty Power Rangers reboot that is
Rangers
up on YouTube. Yeah. So, real quick, kind of, what do you guys think about this whole project?
Well, it was up for a little bit, then it got taken down, and now it's back up again.
You're right. Let's see. It's up with this new disclaimer, which is fairly lengthy. It's now says the following is an independently produced bootleg universe video that is not in any way associated with or endorsed by Saban Brands, Power Rangers LLC, or any of their affiliated companies. The video contains graphic violence, nudity, sexual situations, and drug use, and is intended for a mature audience only. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. So it's up with that disclaimer. Clearly, Saban is not approving.
They were not happy about it at all.
I'm honestly amazed that it's back up. It's not very
I'm
often
glad it's back up.
that something is taken down and then it comes back up. When it launched, I was at work over my lunch hour. I actually downloaded the video because I was like, this is getting taken down. I need to have a copy of this. So what do you guys think?
I really liked it. I thought it was a really, really cool take on Power Rangers universe. I wish it would be more than just a short film. I think it's honestly on par, if not a little bit better than the Dragon Ball Z thing we just watched.
The Light of Hope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, it was a little bit hard to follow at times. There's a lot of talking and sound going on top of each other. So when James Vanderbeek was interviewing the Pink Ranger, who was he supposed to be?
He was Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay. So when that was happening, it was a little hard to follow at points, but I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was a really cool take.
I'm you now. I know. I didn't like it. I really didn't. I grew up with Power Rangers. I grew up with that franchise, especially the original Mighty Morphin. And the argument can be said for
what this movie was distinctly lacking was them jumping out of a plane and then air boarding down.
About that first movie?
Yes,
that first movie's so good.
I loved that.
Something about the something ooze.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That movie was so good.
But something we said is we got Batman 1966, which is very campy, and then now we've got the Dark Knight as a vision that could be said as a gritty reboot or whatever. Sure. But this, I'm a little
really gritty.
Yeah, I'm a very conservative guy. I don't need that mixed in with my Power Rangers.
Childhood franchise that's still
not even just a childhood
franchise
thing. I mean, Jason David Frank did come out with a response saying, like, look, guys, I'm not trying to be the old guy, but this is a
show is still on the air.
It's still on the air for kids. Yeah, it was on the air for you, and some people say they deserve that, but the thing is, you don't deserve
I'll say all of Jason David Frank's points were very legitimate and really well thought out.
Yeah.
I thought his video was smart, what he put out. Austin St. John, who played the original Red Ranger, also, he made a post on Instagram basically saying, like, this has every right to exist as anything else. And he's pro for it. And I agree with that more than I agree with Jason David Frank and you, but I totally get where they're coming from.
And I'm not saying that Adi Shankar doesn't have the right to do things or envision stuff that way, but I think, I don't know, taking it with a little bit more tact. I don't see.
I'll say,
doing something for the sake of doing something isn't always a really good thing.
Sure. I'll say I did enjoy the video. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is pretty badass. It seemed like it was violent just to be violent in many instances.
It was a little over the top at some points.
It was violent to be violent, sexualized to be sexualized, just for the sake of being able to slap that gritty thumbprint on.
I really my biggest gripe with it, outside of, I agree with Dirk, there was certain times where it's hard to follow necessarily what's happening,
especially since it's been so long since I've seen Power Rangers.
I think that's
why I had hard time recognizing who was who and remembering what did what.
But my problem was really kind of the suits were cool, but I wanted to see more of the suits. Like, I wanted to see more. They were so
the very beginning with the
they were way too dirty and way too like just screwed up, and I get that.
Well, again,
I get why they're
gritty
trying to
for
do
the
this.
sake of gritty.
But I
The
wanted to
beginning with the
see-
Megazord in the
I wanted to
background
see the
was
suits
cool,
shine a
though.
little bit. Yeah, and seeing the Green Ranger with the
and the power armor, and
yeah.
then seeing the Black Ranger with his special helmet.
Yeah.
Like it was really
there was
cool.
a lot of legit moments of it.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
was really excited about that.
take out the grit, and the visual effects were cool. That was fantastic. Really well done. Very cool cinematography. Sound editing needed some help, I think, in some areas in terms of being able to just hear stuff.
See, but I don't think I'd be as interested if this was a movie that I will agree that the grit was a little over the top at some point. The sexualizing and the drugs are a little bit over the top. But if they just took out all that and made it a PG-13 movie, I don't think I would enjoy this as much.
Probably not.
I like
Not for me.
seeing an adult take on the Power Rangers.
Especially as, the thing with this, and Jason David Frank's opinion on this extremely valid. This is still a children's show that is airing on a children's network, but also on the flip side, it was a show for us when we were kids, and now we're adults, and we like some more mature. Some obviously you're not on board with necessarily the big mature situations here, but a lot of us are, and this is a franchise that we knew and loved, and it would be cool to see this take and see
What
it
happens
go on
when
to
they're
a
no
vision.
longer kids? They never really explored that in the show. They just went on to another batch.
They
of
went on
kids.
to college, and
They went
passed
through some stuff in that show. So I mean, seeing that as a possible future is definitely valid.
And I think they could handle some of those philosophical and psychological situations more tactfully in a way that I don't know.
I think
I really didn't.
You want
like
a
it.
scene where sparks come off when someone gets stabbed instead of blood.
No,
That's what you want.
no,
I'm not
see-
talking about the green blood in Mortal Kombat versus the red blood type of
I
thing.
think
but-
what Ryan's trying to get at is I think they could do a legit big budget Power Rangers thing in the vein of what Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
I think it fits into. There's a lot of the stuff that you deal with the psychology, especially like say in Iron Man 3, you dealt with a lot of the psychology of the stuff that those people went through when aliens came in and nearly destroyed
absolutely.
the world, and them being these heroes and stuff. And I think
as
you
teenagers
could take that,
with attitude.
Yeah, you could take that effect with Power Rangers, and I think it could be legit. Just take 2 steps away from the amount of blood and gore that was in this, and I think you've got a pretty.
It was
cool...
a little disappointing at the very beginning when they were running around with assault rifles instead of Power Ranger guns. Because I mean, they did have guns in the TV show, but they
were
looked
laser
like
pistols.
Power Ranger guns.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. Like they went so far they had to even take that out of it. Like that just felt like it was pulling them out of their element.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at
It's
this,
like Ghostbusters running around with assault rifles. Like that's not what they use. That's not their utility. Like
don't cross the bullets.
yeah.
Their swords that they use in the
the
trailer.
swords were
yeah.
spot on. Why couldn't they do that with the guns?
Rocky Sword was pretty cool, but I looking at this and looking at in a previous video when we talked about Light of Hope, like married, might in the near future probably gonna have kids, and I'm gonna want to share some of these franchises with my kids.
Sure.
Definitely, I want to be able to sit down with my son or daughter and watch the history of Trunks, and then maybe it's like, oh, you know what this looked like if it was real life. Here, check this out, and I can show that to my proverbial kid.
Yeah.
And same thing with Power Rangers. I want to sit down and let them pretend to be teenagers with attitude and Megazords, but I can't. And if this exists,
There's
I
such better
can't.
shows than Power Rangers nowadays.
Well, but still, I'm just speaking,
Yeah.
hypothetically. That's not. It's
Now,
real
what
difficult
about
to
this?
justify.
This might be a stretch, and I'm honestly gonna be a little surprised I'm gonna even say this. But now they don't. Obviously, when you make things that are mature, they're labeled as mature. When you go to a movie, you have to be a certain age to see a certain thing. When you go get a video game, you have to be a certain age to get this video game. So I think by labeling those, that means that it's now on somebody else's responsibility to make the decision, yes or no, you're watching this. And so I also don't think that, like us saying, no, they shouldn't make this film because it's it's a childhood franchise. In the porn industry, there's always going to be a porn version of everything that there is,
right.
and you can't get away from that, and you just have to rely on the fact that this person, this kid who loves this franchise over here, is just never going to see this thing that's over here.
I hear what you're saying, and I really wish the ESRB system and the movie rating system actually worked, but sadly in our
it doesn't.
country, it
No,
doesn't.
you're right.
It's just a joke.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, and like I said earlier,
I
It's
want
not,
this
it's not on the
movie to
ESRB's point, though. It's
parents and-
It's
Oh, I know, and that should be enough to keep kids from seeing this movie, but I don't know if it would be.
yeah.
well, that even
But,
then it becomes more of a draw for some kids. Like, oh, it's rated
Yeah.
M, or oh, it's rated R.
That brings another interesting point, though. If once a franchise crosses over into the kids' world, can it ever come back out? Because look at Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was never a kids' franchise
Yeah.
when it first started.
You're right.
It looked like this is where Ninja Turtles started, and now
in different. Okay, yes.
Can Ninja Turtles ever come back?
Absolutely.
To where it
This
was
started that way in the
anything?
comics, though.
In different,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like in different mediums, though. Like you probably won't be able to see like a super dark, really
Turtles
effed
movie.
up Turtles movie, but
Yeah.
you're definitely going to get a super dark Turtles comic book in the same way Batman is really effed up in a lot of comic books.
Yeah.
But he's also a 1966 campy experience as well as a fairly gritty movie. You know, so
Well, like I said, with the different mediums, I'm not saying that Adi Shankar should not have the right to do that. He's got the creative right to do whatever he wants. It's not within my, power or responsibility to, pick at him and say, never make another thing. Because actually, his take on Punisher has been better than anything that Hollywood has put out with Punisher.
he's a great filmmaker.
Yeah, but I don't know. It doesn't rub me the right way. I don't.
I enjoyed it. Dirk, you're on board with me.
Oh, I would go see this movie in theaters right
Sweet.
now.
All right.
Yeah, if it was out right now, I'd go see it.
You're just still sad because of Chappie.
Well, that was really entertaining. I actually really enjoyed that. I wish I could have heard the dialogue more.
Yeah.
That's the only the guns, and I wish I could have heard things better.
There's the subtitles that they built into this were the coolest
Oh,
subtitles.
I know, and
I
I
will
wish that
agree
would have
with you
been the
on that.
entire thing
Yeah.
because those subtitles were amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
So let us know in the comments below, what do you think of this movie or this short film? Really,
Yeah.
do you think it was for you or for somebody else? And also, really, I'm curious, do you feel like it has the right to exist on the internet? I'm glad that it's back up online for people to view.
I'm sad that due to the company being a kids company that we'll never see anything come out of this, but it's nice to know that
At least they've got it listed there as a bootleg universe version. So that's okay with me.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments below what you thought of that. And as always, you can find out more from us. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/thesafestate. We're also on Twitter. We're at @the_SaveState. And for all your Power Rangers information, you can stay right here on the Safe State. We'll see you guys next time.